I fixed a teacher's broken mouse, but she complained I made her look bad when the kids found out it was actually a whiteboard eraser. This happened about 15 years ago when I worked at a primary and secondary school. I was happily typing away at my computer when a student knocked on the door to my basement office. "IT, Mrs. X can't get her mouse working." "Okay, let's go check it out." I quickly followed the student to Mrs. X's classroom. As soon as we walked in, Mrs. X greeted me with, "It's about time." Internally, I was already pissed off because I dropped everything the moment the student had come to get me. I didn't want to hear her complaints about being late. I tried to focus and get to her desk to assess the issue. Mrs. X had an Acer computer, a screen, and a projector. The mouse was wireless, so I figured it was probably a battery issue. She immediately started ranting as I approached her desk. "My smartboard isn't working, and it's costing me valuable teaching time. Your systems are terrible." I bit my tongue and nodded. I wanted to tell her to shut up, but I was used to this. Teachers would call me in, complain about being late, and then make me wait while they went on and on, which, of course, only delayed the fix. "Sorry to hear that," I said, trying to stay professional. I knew she'd be one of those who complained no matter what, so I didn't bother explaining that her last system upgrade had been 6 months ago. She'd either refuse to believe it or say it was too long ago. I looked at her desk and instantly saw the problem. The mouses we used were dark blue and wireless. Annoyingly, the whiteboard erasers were also dark blue. I knew exactly what had happened. She'd grabbed the wrong item, and it wasn't the mouse, it was the eraser. I quickly swapped the whiteboard eraser for a mouse and made sure to hide the swap from her and the students so she wouldn't look too bad. I then flipped the mouse over, turned it on, and put it back, ready to show her that it was working. "Fixed. Just needed to be turned off and on again," I said, proud of how quickly I'd solved the issue. But before I could even come up with an explanation, a student yelled out, "Mrs. X, you were using an eraser." And then, of course, all the kids started laughing. I tried to minimize the situation by saying, "I'm sorry, I tried my best to hide it." The room quieted down a bit, but the damage was done. I told Mrs. X that everything was fixed and that she could let me know if she needed any further help. She simply nodded and let me leave.